So this happened, and about a week later, this happened. Controversial wouldn't be the term I would use here. Radicalized car enthusiast faithful, that would be more like it. So instead of listening to YouTube comments, Reddit threats, and social media outrage, I asked one of the most influential car designers of the last 20 years, the man behind projects like this, and now this, and his answer wasn't what I expected.
That's not Ferrari. That's not what we expect for Ferrari. And that's not what we expect necessarily, perhaps, from AMG. Then you throw polarizing design on top of that, and you've got a dumpster fire.
Derek Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
You're back. Actually, no. I'm in your studio now.
You are in my neighborhood.
This is where it all started for you, man.
It is, yes. Yeah.
This is how you became the rock star you are today. So what is this thing? What's behind us right now? Why are we sitting for people?
This is the Art Center Invitational. So this is an annual event where they invite alumni and fans of the school, students, everybody to bring their cars every year. There's usually a different theme. This year it's focused on Italian design, which, how do you screw that up?
Yeah.
Well, actually, there are ways, but
So you and I are recording this last day of May, 2026. And I think you would agree the past 2 weeks, let's just say it's been a rough ride in the electric car world. But as the contrarian investor, I would say it wasn't about electric cars. It was about design.
Yeah.
And it was in like two different areas. You got AMG going this direction, and you got Ferrari going this direction. And I would say the internet commenters have been universally agreed in the direction of these cars.
Yeah.
From a very high level, what happened there?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, try not to get hypercritical about any other company's design. I think a couple things are going on. I think we're at peak kind of like angst in the car enthusiast community about electric cars and the technological change around cars in general. And I think that is generating a ton of I would argue it's the vocal minority.
It's the vocal minority.
It's the vocal minority.
Which is the thing that moves politics, apparently.
And again, I'm a traditional lover of cars, and I own gas cars, and it's not like I only drive electric cars, but I love thinking about the future, and I love progress and change and evolution. And I've seen this before. I remember in the 80s, my dad going, "What is all this? What are these black boxes, these electric black boxes? And fuel injection, that's crap." And it's like,
I've known you for 15 years. You never told me this story.
My dad was like so into carburetors and just there was already, and you know what? That gave way to let's say the first retro wave in my life. That's the Miata came out in '89, the Viper, the Audi TT, the new Beetle, and changed the trajectory of the '90s for cars. I would argue in a good way. So back to the point, I just think that there's peak angst around kind of the progress of the automobile. I'm an optimist. I always say, look, consumer has a range of choice for cars and performance and design and quality and detail and craftsmanship, safety, technology. The amount of choice for the average consumer is far greater than ever before in the history. And I would even argue the spectrum of aesthetics is far greater than ever before in the history of the automobile.
But I'm going to interject here for a minute. Porsche Taycan.
Yeah.
I think you would agree. Good looking car.
Very much so.
Dynamically fantastic.
Excellent.
Came out at a different time.
Yeah.
Came out, I would argue, before there was a lot of politicization of electric.
Yeah.
But what it proved was there isn't a healthy market for a super expensive electric car. I mean, people bought them because, like you said, there's a certain amount of people that want an electric car.
Yeah.
And those people were satiated.
Yeah.
But the resale market, which kind of gives you an indication of how healthy the overall market is, has been like very famously not good. 50%. Basically, you get half off of the car a year or two old.
Yeah.
And I feel like AMG and Ferrari knew this. They had, 7 years to see that. Could either one of them said, you know what, let's step back from it? Kind of like Porsche did with the 718 cars.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't speak for those companies. I certainly saw the pullback with Porsche. Obviously that car sold really, really well in the beginning, but it's also a good case study of the polarization that's happening right now. But I think that, do they just hang it up completely or continue to find the right product for the right consumer? I struggle to think it's like a switch you just turn on and off, because I firmly believe that, broadly speaking, the majority of people over time will be driving electric cars. It's just a question of, for those brands, whether or not they should be sticking with it in some product form or another. I think that's the bigger thing. Now, would I go out and make an electric supercar right now? Probably not, because I don't think that's what that community is looking for. But cars like the AMG and no, without question, the Taycan make awesome daily drivers. If you can, not as good as a Lucid, but awesome daily drivers if that's your thing, And I think what's happening is this hyper vocal minority is making it uncool to drive an electric car of that type. But that will pass. This is a reaction to change. It's got a political slant as well. And that will pass. My son, hardcore BMW guy, loves commuting in Lucid Air, And what do you think he's going to be driving when he has a family?
So I'm going to interject here for a minute. You guys, I love you. I'm biased about
Likewise.
your work.
Feelings mutual.
But I don't think it's apples to apples when you look at what you guys are trying to do and what these guys are trying to do. You guys are at a lower price point. Your volumes are different. The structure of the company is different. The funding of the company is different. The trajectory is like here.
Yep.
Do you think these perhaps were the wrong placements in the industry?
Yeah.
To be the most expensive Ferrari, or to be the pinnacle of AMG performance that does not have an analogous Mercedes.
Right. 1,000%. And why those two cars are so controversial is not solely design. It's the expectations of the brand, the storied emotion that we all have towards Ferrari or towards Mercedes-Benz or AMG.
Yeah.
And the design and the electrification, right? You cannot separate those three things. Lucid, all we do is electric.
Yeah.
In fact, we're founded to take advantage and pioneer the most advanced electric products that even possible. That's the whole reason we exist, and we are targeting consumers that care about that.
Yeah.
That's not Ferrari. That's not what we expect for Ferrari. And that's not what we expect necessarily, perhaps, from AMG. Then you throw polarizing design on top of that, and you've got a dumpster fire.
So do you think if they had done the Dino strategy, put a different badge on it, and make it a cheaper car, not more than the most expensive one they make, do you think that the reception would have been better?
Possibly, but probably not much.
You don't think so? Why is that?
I just think that Dino is inseparable from...
Well, I don't mean the Dino name. But you know how they had this V6,
possibly,
and back in the day, like, how could you?
Possibly.
But now, what's a Dino worth?
Possibly. I really do think, and I really do think... I would really love to see someone make an honest attempt at a really, really pure driving machine electric vehicle.
Well, Longbow.
Yeah,
I used to work for you.
But I mean, from an existing brand.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Someone that really know that you know what I mean. Put. I was excited about the Porsche, to be honest, to see where that goes, because that car is going to dominate.
718.
Yeah, it's going to dominate the canyons.
But the Macan EV, handed in their heads, and they and rightly, that was the right decision.
Arguably so. I just, there's going to come a day when there's going to be a lightweight, minimalist sports car that's electric that is going to own the streets.
So before that day, do you see a point in the future that we will look back on maybe not AMG and Ferrari's decision, but say Ferrari's decision, we will look back and say that was the new Coke, or it was a mastermind of genius marketing? Is there a possibility of that?
It's probably the first one you mentioned. I just think they're just...
See why I love this guy? I mean, honesty.
They're misconceived. Well,
yeah.
To me, the AMG maybe is, I'm sure that thing's an awesome product.
Yeah.
Come on, it's the taillights that's the problem, the biggest problem.
Oh, I would say that the guppy, the light above the grill, front three quarters, great if you take that light bar out.
Sure. But definitely the back of the car. I mean, it's a handsome side view. The car.
Absolute daylight opening is lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to beat up on the Ferrari because I worked at Apple God knows how many years.
Yeah.
And you know I'm a watch guy. I'm still looking for my Mark Newsom watch that I should have bought new 20 years ago. So,
but if I could just comment on that, because, like I said, first and foremost, I think it's a brand issue, a brand expectation issue. Then you go and look at the exterior and you realize, like, it really doesn't have truly balanced automotive proportions. It doesn't have stance. It looks quite tall, especially for a Ferrari. But if it wasn't a Ferrari, I'd say, can't we slim this down? Because I think there are thematic elements that could be made to be attractive with the right proportions. Those are 23 and 24 inch wheels on that vehicle. So that tells me
Cadillac Escalade wheels.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big, for those that don't know, wheels really help make the proportions work, And unfortunately, I just feel like that car looks like it wasn't designed by someone who understands automotive proportions.
So now let's switch gears a little bit. I'm probably going to get beaten up in the comments about this, but I think the interior is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of cool things on the interior.
Give me 3 good, 3 bad.
Well, steering wheel's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the steering wheel's super cool.
Yeah.
It's loaded with nostalgia. So immediately there's a connection there. I would argue that nobody does switches and buttons and tactile precision better than Apple. And you could see that in those interactions on the screens, the toggles, even what
the
they've done
launch
with the
control thing.
I love all that. The form language itself for me is kind of not very.
You're the expert. I love the parts.
I love the parts.
The sum of the parts, I got to be honest with you, if you take out the tactile feel.
Yeah. I'm passionate about this topic because I do feel like we're going to look back in 5 years and go, what the fuck are we all so bent out of shape for?
Yeah.
It's okay, guys.
Yeah. You're the expert here. So I want to like pose this as a question. I look at it and I love the parts of it, like the stopwatch, the tactile feel, the paddles, all that kind of stuff is amazing.
Screens, the layered
the
screens,
toggle switches that interact with the screens.
Yeah, and analog and digital in one.
Magnificent.
Super cool.
But I feel like the sum of the parts, like take the tactile feel or even like the color and trim choices, take that out of it. And I feel like it has all the charm of the inside of a GMC pickup truck or like really more like a Toyota sedan, not a GMC pickup truck because I've actually gotten better now. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, I feel like the form language and the chunkiness of it,
this is just the interior we're talking about.
Yeah, that doesn't feel, it doesn't have the nostalgic charm that say the air vents have and the steering wheel have. These are really nostalgic details done beautifully modern. And that deserves credit. The forms themselves, the instrument panel shape, the chunkiness of it all, it doesn't do much for me. The seats are they have a Ferrari feel about it, and they look comfortable. But yeah, I see your point for sure.
Do you think that all of the advances of the interior, whether that car is a flop or not, do you think those advances make it into other Ferraris?
No question in my mind.
Absolutely.
And other cars in general.
Oh, so you think others will copy?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, that's already happening. Like we're already as an industry moving towards more analog detailing mixed with digital screens. So that's already happening. But arguably, Jony Ives and team are masterful at that approach. And so, of course, we're all paying attention, picking that apart, because I do think within that execution, there's a lot of impressive detail work that is noteworthy. No question.
Okay, so I'm gonna close it out with this. Between the two, which one will be a commercial success?
Well, the Mercedes has a far better chance at being a commercial success. Because it has a long, slinky proportion. It's well stanced. I promise you, when you see that car on the road, I think the proportions will be quite striking. And we can debate about the front end graphics, rear end graphics, details. I think it'll be a very striking, sleek car.
So it's one of those things, you got to see it in person before you make a final decision.
I feel like it will be attractive going down the road. I have less confidence in the Ferrari.
Sir, on that note, I can't thank you enough for squeezing us into the schedule today. I think we should have the debate in the comments. Do they agree with you or not?
Yep.
Let us know in the comments below.
Folks.
And any feedback for this man and his vehicles.
Yes.
You have to come back because you've got some new stuff coming out.
We do.
New segments, and I want to go through it with you.
Yep. Happy to talk about
that.
that.
Okay. Until we see you in the next episode, bis später.